Hello. It is April 17th, a Monday. Beautiful, beautiful day. And I'm here to talk about three things. First thing, how to start a project. Second thing, have I started too many projects and am I overloading myself? And last thing, what does this all mean for LOLA? What is like my plan for LOLA in the future? LOLA Podcast. So first thing, how to start. So I watched Gary Vee's original uh, like how to start, something like that. And he basically talks about starting a project is half the battle. You just gotta start. Everybody talks, everyone talks, and no one does. And as someone who has done a few things, I feel like I've learned a lot on how to start. And Gary is talking a lot about, you really need to. There's a lot of things to learn, and there's a lot of things that you don't know when you need to start something. And you really need to figure what that is. And a lot of times spending that time to learn is also an excuse for not doing, right? So, for example, right now I've been thinking about that esports podcast, or not esports podcast, the podcast for creators and people who've made it in the gaming industry or esports industry and League of Legends, whatever. And I've been watching YouTube videos on just how to do interviews better, how to speak better, and you know, I feel like I'm not ready to interview all these people, but that's what small scale league content creators and practicing is for. I can start using my mini-sodes to interview people, and we have guests on the show, and I should take more of a role in interviewing those people. So I make that excuse, and there is some legitimacy to it because I want to be a better viewer. But at the same time, if you add up all those hours that I may be spending in delaying me actually finding guests and interviewing them, and finding excuses or like setting up things perfectly for that to happen, you may or may not find that's an excuse, right? I think I'm kind of on the fence because I'm not sure if I want to commit that time. But then again, like, what's wrong with just interviewing one person, not doing it again for 2 months because I just can't find the time, or it's been too hard, or I have to figure out some things. The biggest thing is like you have to start, right? I think that is the big thing. And a lot of times starting is the most obvious thing to do that we just don't look at, right? If you wanted to start a party, it's like, oh, how do I advertise this on Instagram and Facebook and find the right people to like pimp out the party, or like where do I find a model to do it? Like, there's a lot of things that you need to do for that. Or the simplest thing is do it old school, print out flyers and put them on people's windshields, or hang them up on telephone poles, or go out on a street corner and pass them out. Sometimes the easiest, most obvious thing is the right answer, because if anything, you achieve something rather than being at zero. Right? If I started a podcast and nothing came of it, well, you know what? I would find out that I had 7 views. That's better than 0 views. That's a start. I've made 1 networking contact. That is more than 0, right? So starting is something. And then if you really, really are passionate about it, like, you keep that going and you work hard. And those are different details on how to do that. But that's what I was thinking about. And like, with that, I was thinking, okay, I have these aspirations and plans to start some new podcasts, which are coming. They're in the works, And then I started thinking, okay, am I doing too much? Because if I look at my time right now, I don't have time. Okay, I do have time, but time is getting scarcer and scarcer and harder to come by. And then I'm like, am I spreading myself a little too thin? Like, I host maybe half the episodes now of LOLA Podcast because I've been trying to bring up Tyler. as a host because he wants to do some hosting, and I think he has a good ability to do so. And that's the plan. That's my plan for Lola, to do that. But I started thinking, am I spreading myself too thin? And part of me says yes, part of me says no. And it kind of came down to like, what are my aspirations and goals, right? And my whole like 10, 15, 20-year thing is like, I want to be the guy that produces content for gaming and esports scenes. Like, I am the guy, or I've created the company or the network or the the studio that is the person, the studio that is doing it, right? I want to be the one that everyone, I want to be the very best. And yeah, that might not be a realistic goal. I might not have enough talent. I might not have enough effort to actually accomplish that. But if that's me shooting for the moon and landing on the stars, or whatever that saying is, because it doesn't really make sense because the stars are much further away than the moon. Like, that's fine. That's, oh wait, no. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I'm an idiot. If that's me landing, if landing on the moon means that I've made a few successful podcasts and I make a very comfortable living doing that, or I'm working for like an amazing network that I love my job and I enjoy doing it, and I'm able to like be involved in the gaming industry like for the rest of my life and get paid to do that, like comfy job that I have, like all these things, like that's not bad. I can live with that. I am perfectly happy with that too. But I set that huge goal to like give me direction. And then when I think about how that goal is giving me my direction is I'm trying to make all these podcasts and expand and grow big and fast. And I'm like, but I think what happens is that when I'm trying to grow this big, I'm losing my technical skills, right? I'm losing the growth in becoming a better audio editor. I'm losing the capability of learning how to do video editing. I'm losing the capability of doing social media myself and learning how Facebook works the best and how Twitter works the best, instead of outsourcing that work to volunteers, which I do currently. And if I'm trying to build the network as fast as possible, that might be I'm doing the correct thing. But at the same time, I feel like I really want to be that Swiss Army knife that is able to do everything, so I can teach people to do everything and teach people how to do it right, and I have some authority when I say like, oh no, music shouldn't go here, it should go here, because I've actually done this and I've made successful podcasts where I know how to use music, right? Or I know how to contact people, or like, hey, I know you say you can't take out this background noise, but if you do it this way, this way, this way, this way, ta-da, it's done. Or it's like, if I want video content, because I've done it so many times, which I haven't, but if I've been an expert in it, I can talk to a video editor and be like, I want it this way, you need to use this kind of transition because I've done it and I know, and I can put words in technical jargon to what I actually need them to do so I can speak their language. And then they can work for me more effectively that way, or produce content better for me, or for them, whatever it is. So there's kind of a struggle here where, and I think it involves patience too, which is always a very popular topic on these vlogs. I want to grow that network, right? That's my direction. But I think I'm trying to do it too fast. And that comes to the next point with what's going on with Lola. And I'm probably going to just talk about this very shortly, and maybe tomorrow I'll talk about Lola a little more. But Lola is becoming a thing that's kind of on the fence when it comes to like how it aligns with my goals, short-term and long-term goals. Lola is definitely a passion project because I love teaching people about this game. I love talking about this game. And I love creating content to make people better at the game. I think there's a lot of things that I have of value to say, and I want to have conversations about, and Lola is a great outlet for that. The biggest thing with Lola is I wanted to create a community, a friendly community where people just want to talk and play League. And League is a tough game to play alone, and I want to create a community where when people are like, this game sucks, they can suddenly be like, wow, this game is cool, because when you take off the negative emotions, you can be like, wow, this game is so intricate, this game is so deep, it's fun, I love playing with people, this game is awesome. Because that's what it is for me. It's what I experience. I want to share that experience with people. So LOLA is really something that I care about, but I'm not sure how important it is in my success, in my selfish goals, right? And again, it's something I care about, and I don't want to just take this lightly, and I don't want this to be misconstrued as like, oh, Sam doesn't care about LOLA, he's greedy. I am greedy, I am selfish, because I have to make a living, I have to find enjoyment in my life, I have to find happiness and fulfillment. And LOLA does do that partially. For example, the podcast with Weldon, that is much more beneficial to put my time into and efforts into, because that will grow me, give me a better network, give me better content, and to show and improve my skills a lot more than LOLA would. And part of that is because I am 75% of the Weldon podcast production. I take content from Weldon, sure, I couldn't do it without him, but I put in the creativity, I put in the audio editing, and I put in some of the marketing, right? So I have a huge part and control in how successful that podcast becomes. LOLA, I depend a lot on others because I don't have the knowledge and maybe the conversational skill set that Blake and Brad and other people have, and Ernie and Tyler, and I rely on them a lot. However, with their life and their commitments and their goals, I can only make LOLA grow so much with the efforts and the skills and the talents that I have. So what does that mean for LOLA? I'm not sure. Again, like I said, it's a passion project and I care about it a lot. And it would take a lot for me to just give up on it, and I wouldn't give up on it. And I'm kind of creating the backup plan for LOLA, where it is with bringing on Tyler as a host and bringing on more people potentially for co-hosts, and even looking for more hosts, where LOLA can be self-run with me more in the background. I don't know, now B, I put in a lot of efforts, and I've already been able to skimp off on half the episodes and giving Tyler the reins. So that's helped ease the load off of LOLA, but at the same time, I've been putting a lot of efforts into LOLA. So yeah, I think next vlog I'll talk a little more in depth about the subject, because it's starting to get really intense. Don't worry guys, LOLA's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I love the support for all the League of Legends Anonymous that we have. That's this episode of Just Casual Vlog. See you guys next time.